Welcome to the CodPast podcast, where your fishy past hooks your brilliant future. With Dr. Deborah, Laura, and Dr. Trish.
Hi, everybody in Facebook. Oops, I've got to start recording here. Just 1 minute. Okay. It's so funny. Almost everybody that starts these Zooms, they have this lag like, oh, just a minute. I'm sure the technology is going to get better soon, so we don't have to do these weird, like, just a minute.
Yeah, it seems like there ought to be a macro key where you can just push a button and it starts up everything you need.
It should. And
session.
yeah, I think there are some compatible things. Yeah. Okay, so here we are this morning. It is April 29th, 2022, and our famous CodPast girls, Dr. Deborah and Laura, are right now, I think they're just getting into San Diego, and I was supposed to be with them right now, and by a bunch of magic, I'm not with them, and we'll talk about that in a minute. But what I have is kind of like our fourth CodPast person. He's not female, so he can't be official, but he's about as official as it can get because he's one of our best friends. I've known him for a really long time. Dr. Byron Davies. He sits in on a lot of our stuff, and we collaborate on a lot of our stuff. And right now he's always been a black swan. Oh, there's Laura! Yay!
She's still on the plane?
No, she's getting out of Uber, I think. Anyway, Byron has always been a black swan. He's been a nerd. He's done everything different than anybody else has done, and graduated from college at 7. Oh, look, they're together! Yay! Ah, this is great. Oh, you guys aren't on.
Yeah, we look pretty good for getting up at 3 a.m. East Coast time.
And you look pretty good for being ragged from the airplane and airport. Where are you? Because it looks like a pretty good room.
It's an amazing room. It's the Hornton Hotel, and it's haunted.
Oh, you're already checked in?
Oh, yeah.
Holy moly, you guys. And here I was.
We get things done. We get things done. Hi, Byron. Hi, Trish.
Hello, Deborah. Hello, Laura.
We get things done, and we have
now I'm extraneous.
fun.
Now
this is
wheel.
fun. Oh, this
And
is
we
so
make
great.
more money.
So, yeah, and we make more money, and we turn it back around and give it out, and it comes back, and yeah. Oh, I'm so glad you guys are together. This is going to be a really fun day because I think, did you see the text about what I said that we were going to do today?
I tried to read it in the Uber, and then I realized I think you texted it by voice, and some of it didn't make sense. So I just thought, well, I'll just show up live and see what she's talking about.
All right. So today is a really special day. I started to say that I was supposed to be with Laura and Deborah in San Diego, and by a bunch of really magical things that we're going to talk a little bit about magic today, as we always do. And that magic is normal. It's not abnormal. It's just that the world has programmed us to think that we aren't so magical, but we know that we are, and we've got science to prove it. So thinking that Deborah and Laura were not going to be here today, we did not schedule an interview because we were kind of wondering if we were even going to get a bunch of stuff done. And so we called Byron, he's like the fourth non-female part of our CodPast, because he's got a fishy past too. It's just that it's really academic.
That's pretty fishy.
It's pretty fishy. I mean, he's high academic that most people would say there's no way this scientist, this academic of his accomplishments would be hanging out with these three crazy women. But in fact, Byron is really just as weird as we are. And he does a whole bunch of the same stuff. And so today, you guys, what we're going to all focus on, this is going to be really fun. The four of us are together. We're going to talk about your haunted hotel, of course, because that's part of it. We're going to have intermittent fishy jokes, because I think we've all looked some up. And we're going to talk also about a tiny bit about, I keep bringing in this whole thing about Jesus and what he was teaching, and everybody knows who Jesus was, even if, whether you're a Christian or not, doesn't matter. You know who Jesus was or is. And so some things that the Bible say about fishiness and magic. And I looked that up. And then we're going to talk.
We talked about that symbol of Christianity is the fish.
Oh, I always forget that. Yeah.
Yes,
so
and remember he made so many fishes out of 5 fish, was it? 5 fish fed thousands or something. We looked it up once.
Yeah, and somebody was calling me about that the other day, and they said, yeah, well, good thing Jesus didn't try to do that today, because everybody would be complaining that they're vegan and they didn't want those. Do they have anything that is non-fishy? And they don't eat gluten, so could you do something besides bread? So
seriously.
So anyway, and what we're going to do is, and we may have to Google it as we go, but we're going to talk about who we know that's a celebrity that has a very fishy or unusual story or past. And we're going to talk about that among each other. So, hey, did you know so-and-so did this or did that? Because I think I wanted to bring this to everybody's attention, because I want to talk about the things unseen. And then Laura disappears. So the things unseen.
We're getting our phones so we can push it out to Facebook. We just got it.
Well, it is out to Facebook. It's on CodPast.
Yeah, we're going to push it out to our page. That's all.
Oh, yeah. Can I do that? I think I can.
Yeah, you just share it.
Yeah, I think so. Anyway, and someone was telling me you can't share you can't share a private group on your own page, but I mean, I've done it, I think.
I think it was because that was one of the groups that we do Facebook Live on, and it doesn't have sharing features. This one does, CodPast does.
Huh, wonder why? Why wouldn't it?
For us, because we're administrators.
Why
maybe
wouldn't
we
it
are administrators. It was on Science of Oils, and maybe you're not an administrator. I'm not sure.
Hey, Byron,
I am
like
too.
that Swan's about to just hug you completely. You're like, it's like you're a scarf or something.
Yeah.
Oh, well.
Very sweet Swan.
Yeah, well, thanks. All right, you guys, I'm going to start with you'll be glad, Laura. I'm going to put this next to my computer the rest of my life, Laura.
Oh, good. I love it. It's your story. You're regenerous.
You got to tell that story.
And so that's going to be, oh, I just got shivers. That's going to be next to my computer at all times. So it reminds me of who I am. I'm a regenerist. But I want to show everybody the power, okay, of magic and the things that you don't see. So what do you see with these? What do you see?
I see mints. I see red and white, a little bit of blue.
What is that called? When you want to experience the Altoids, is like something. When I take Altoids, they make me sneeze.
I see tin.
Well, that's really interesting. I see, what do you call those? The knockoffs. Like one is the original, and the other one is what do you call it?
365.
Yeah, I know, but it's like it's an off brand, but there's a
House brand.
What do you see, Byron?
I see toucans. But that's not a fish, that's a bird.
Well, what do you think's in here?
Oh, well, that's a really good question.
Mints. Oh, maybe.
Fun kissing. Not gross kissing.
Pills.
Okay. So so the stuff that we've been taught is what?
What's in there? Like the concrete, what's in there, you would think it would be mints.
Yeah, and can you smell the mints?
Oh,
Can
yes.
Can you feel them on your tongue?
Mhm.
Uh-huh.
And
Not the
can
365 brand, the Altoids, I can.
Can you see what they're like in your hand
Yes,
when you get ready to put one in your mouth?
yes.
Round.
And if you picture it going into your mouth, what happens?
I sneeze. I do. I sneeze when it's weird. I sneeze when I have an Altoid.
I can breathe, my breath, I take a deep breath and it clears my lungs out, or it feels good in my lungs.
Can you feel that right now?
Sure.
And what do you?
I crunch them. I don't know what everybody else does. And
Well,
some people suck them, or
my mouth, as I'm describing them, my mouth is just watering like crazy, as if I had a lemon or something. I mean, I just want one. Like, where are they? I want one, right? Okay, so
we could have. I like that curiously strong mint. So we could have a Black Swan brand that would be improbably strong mint.
And they'd be black. They'd be black.
Oh yeah, there we go.
okay, all right. So we got this, right? And so what happens when I go like, wait.
Really?
Oh, there's
How is
magnets in them. That's where you keep your magnets.
Oh,
You know.
And,
you are
and,
tricky.
Tricky, Trish.
and so
Tricky.
how did these boxes do that? Is it magic?
I thought it was magic, but Deborah knew the answer.
There's magnets in it.
And
That's what you
Byron, in your scientific estimation, is this magic?
No, it's physics.
Why is it physics?
Why is it physics?
What makes it physics to you and not magic?
Because there's principles of what's involved there are understood in terms of mathematics ultimately.
So was Jesus trying to say some stuff like this to us, do you think?
Yeah.
And so what did you say about each one of us compared to him?
We have the magic inside of us too.
Stay in community.
Okay, so I want to show you guys something. Why do you think I keep it in cans like that?
They don't get lost.
Because you're shy and you need a what do you call it?
Icebreaker.
Opener, an icebreaker.
An icebreaker. I have the icebreaker. It's regenerous.
Yeah.
Okay, I'm going to show you guys this. These are called they're called something like mega magnets. Only certain people have them, and you have to buy them, and you have to find them. And they're almost always at New Age conferences in some obscure
Or scientific
booth.
supply stores.
See, that's why we need a nerd in our group. That's why we love you, Byron.
You can buy them
And
in bulk, so you can buy like 100 of them for a really good price.
why don't we start giving these out, or this will be part of our product line, okay?
Yeah.
Because I'm starting the product line.
And probably strong magnets.
Improbable.
Well, yeah, we want to make sure people like, I don't chase, I attract.
Oh,
You don't taste what?
I don't
Doesn't-
chase, I attract.
it just took
Law
a
of
second to
attraction.
land. When it landed, pow, bam. It's hard to hear each other, I think, maybe.
Yeah, those would be great.
No,
magnet
I
for law
like
of
the
attraction.
diet idea. I'm attracting health and well-being. I'm not, what do you say? What'd you say?
I don't chase, I attract.
Okay, so Deborah, I swear sometimes
When you men out there, I'm telling you, I don't chase, I attract. So, and I also don't chase, but I respond to effort.
Mhm. No, that gets
I'll
outside the
tell
magnet metaphor.
if we could
Yeah.
all just blend into one person, can you imagine what we do? All right,
We
Okay.
should have.
I'm
Live
gonna
on hotel rooms.
I want to show you guys something. This thing is almost impossible to take out of here. All right. Okay. I bought this, and I bought this little magnet to show the amazing properties of this thing. Watch. Whoops. Watch.
Wee.
You're just so cute.
Well, you know, it makes me wonder, is that like a fractal, like whatever magnets are made of, is that just a smaller version of it?
It
You
is
break
a
a magnet
small.
in half, it's another, you get two magnets.
Yeah, this
Same.
one, you can buy these at those same places and they have like several of them. And so I wanted to show what that was like, but I tell you, if I let these two, this is where I think we are on the planet right now, guys. This is a metaphor. So this guy right here wants to attract this guy right here. And if I let them come together, I have to have a hugely buffed out man get a knife and get them apart, because it's really, really hard. Wait. Okay, I'm putting it back in a box. It's gonna go in a box so it can't get
Okay,
together.
so remember there's a children's safety warning about magnets that powerful.
All right, well, wait a minute. I don't want to hear that right now.
Don't swallow it.
So,
Don't swallow them.
yeah, don't swallow it. Otherwise, you have to have another one that you drag it out.
Well, what can happen? What can happen is that if you swallow two of those magnets, they can attract each other through the intestinal wall and just get stuck. And then you need surgery.
Wow.
Okay, well, okay. So I'm going to be done with this analogy because I'm sure everybody's
I
getting
put the
bored
cap
with
on
this.
it.
But I want you guys to think about, let's just say this is God. And let's just say this is human. This is a person. All over the planet, you were born in the likeness of God. You're born to look just like God. You're born to come home, to attract all you can attract, because God gave you, like any good parent, anything that would make you happy, hopefully. But something put you in a box and keeps you apart. And you keep feeling this push and this pull, and you keep thinking you're on a track, and then something pulls you back out because you're in a box. Because the box that you're in is everything that you've been taught, and you believe that these are just like Altoids, and you believe Altoids make your breath happy. But in fact, who you are and what you're in is just a blind spot as to really how powerful you are. And so that came to me early this morning, and that's a wrap.
Very, very cool. I'd like to get personal. And that is, and I guess it came up on Monday, but I don't think it was done yet then. Now a grandfather for the very first time.
Yay! Those little babies.
Baby boy born in Heidelberg, Germany. My wonderful
Hey, for
son
Germany! I was born in Germany.
It's actually quite close to Frankfurt. And then
I grew up in
today
Frankfurt.
is my daughter's birthday.
Oh, wow.
Wow.
Lots of family.
Big family week.
Yeah.
Wow. And how big was the baby?
The baby was 3.33 kilograms.
Woohoo!
That's like 7.02.
7.2 pounds. Very close. Very close.
Got that right. Look at me. I'm like a genius.
You are
Not
a
like
genius.
a genius.
You are a genius. Yeah, that little guy knew that he was connected to me in some way, so he came out at 333. So yeah, I was really excited about that. All right, does anybody have a fishy joke?
What are you doing there? I don't have any fishy jokes, but I can look one up. She's pulling in our background.
Huh?
She's blurring our background so that maybe a ghost
Cool.
can show up.
That's better.
Oh,
I
okay.
do not, yes, I have a fishy joke. Hold on, it'll take me 1 second. Actually, 2 seconds. I always say that to my daughter. I'll just take 2 seconds. She goes, do you know everything always just takes you 2
I have fishy
seconds?
jokes, puns.
Go ahead.
Well, I don't know. I don't have one yet, but okay, let's see. If you think of a better pun, be sure to drop us a line. I think they're pronounced beta, but I
Yeah,
had to make
beta.
it work. Let's see. Can you see it? Oh, no, never mind. It's all blurred.
Don't worry about what they say in school. I think you are fantastic.
Ah,
You better not get tanked or you will feel my wrestle. Everything was going swimmingly until my Nemo sis arrived.
if you're going for romance, then you'll want to consider the caveat.
I didn't get that.
If
Okay.
you're going for romance,
Oh,
Oh, man. No. Wait, but that's kind of the afterword of romance.
So why didn't the prawn share his toys? He was a little shellfish.
oh, I like that
Oh.
one.
What do you call a man with a large flatfish on his head? Ray.
okay. When another fish tries to make you think you're crazy, tell them to stop bass lighting.
Oh, I like that.
Well, that's your favorite. That's your favorite.
You bet.
All right.
I don't know.
So,
I would make her walk the plankton for that.
you know what? This whole, you guys, you came up with this idea about what, last August, maybe?
I think it was August.
Maybe.
I think so.
And I really thought you were crazy. And then I thought, well, how are we ever going to find fish jokes? And how are we going to make this as interesting as we can so people actually want to watch it and listen to it? And I mean, I love it so much. I love it for me as much as I do everybody else. But I think people are really liking it. They are commenting quite a bit. And it's really, really fun to see how we're reaching out and the difference we're making. And then the side nets that are coming out of it. And Byron just launched Black Swan of Wellness.
Yeah.
And we're all doing our own branding now and our own storytelling. And you're going to have your own podcast, right, Deborah?
I am. I'm calling it Lead from the Heart. And whether you lead at your employees or you lead your family or you lead yourself, it's just all about leadership. Mostly leadership, and I am a human relations consultant. So I really want to concentrate on improving human relations.
Yeah, and I can tell from LinkedIn, you're getting a barrage of people wanting to follow you, wanting to ask you questions, because
Wanting to hire me?
Wanting to hire you. The old corporate model, it just doesn't even work
I'm
anymore.
for sale.
No, you're already bought by us, and so somebody has to wiggle in there and be exactly right in order to have you. So yeah, that's really cool. And Laura, you're not going to do an actual podcast, but you're launching a lesson that people can buy over how big of a period of time is it? 90 days or 6 months?
It's a 12-week program. It's called the A Musical, and it's where it's still in development, but I would say the closest to it is where, yeah, it's under Muffin Topple Challenges. That's where I've launched a lot of this stuff, because I believe we should challenge ourselves every day to be better than we were yesterday or any given moment. So, but it's called the A Musical, and it's where personal development blends with autobiography. I'm not even sure that's a word, or storytelling. the stories we tell ourselves. And actually, I spent the flight out here hashing out the rest of it. So I think I have it all pretty much lined up, because at the end of it, they'll knock off all those silly narratives they've been telling themselves. But I want to say something before Byron gets into it, and then you too, Trish, just really quickly. You were saying that we're gaining traction because people like this concept. And I would say too that the way we show up in the world, that because we've gelled so tightly and we just we support each other. We definitely support each other. We've grown so significantly by being part of our own group, and we're going to eventually extend that to others, but it's how you show up in the world. So this morning I showed up with, this is stuff that I got when we were together in the Santa Barbara trip, where we were spent an afternoon with Jack Canfield in his house, and then we went to Ojai. So I got
having lunch and laughing and joking,
having lunch and laughing and
we were
doing
there all
personal
day.
development stuff.
We were there all day.
And I let him sign my book, even though, we're peers. And then I got this in Carpinteria. So I wear this when I travel, and somebody noticed it. So today I was talking to them, and they're doing big, cool things in the world and trying to figure stuff out. Probably they'll be on our podcast because he's really cool and he's tech. And so we are getting noticed because we're going out and being brave. And that's what I would challenge people to do themselves. It's how you show up in the world is how you lead and change others. So I just wanted to,
we're on the same page, because this morning I wore this necklace I think we got in England, and it says we're all connected. And this is like a little thing that you gave me. This necklace is the one that you gave me that's pointing north, the compass. And for the first time in my life, I just moved in yesterday to a perfectly aligned, pointed feng shui house that I wanted to have a perfect feng shui alignment. This is very complicated, and people have to go into, this is not to tell everybody how to have their own perfect whatever, but I wanted a south facing house, one that opens to the south. And I wanted it for as long as when I first studied that. And then I wanted headboards to the east. Both master bedrooms are headboards to the east, and the house is facing the south. And then the north is facing the mountains. So I live in a place now, as of yesterday, called Carefree. And Carefree came out of absolute magic, you guys, just like the magnets that we're not going to go over again. But I have been really close to these guys, going through a lot of changes in my life, and a lot of questions like, what in the world, where do I belong, what's going on? And I went from, at one time, having a 6-bedroom mansion that was incredible, and I still love that house. It was a lot of what I loved, but a lot of what I didn't like. And I moved out of there very fast because it was haunted. But it was haunted in not a good way. I had every kind of priest and Native American, et cetera, go over there, and I found out a lot of things about the house. But anyway, I have been seeking to live a place that could be a complete sanctuary for holding me up, and then anybody that comes to visit me would be blessed in that same environment. Because Byron and I know that 72% of learning, or probably being, is your environment. It's contextual. It's not, how you're doing it or whether you read this certain book or whatever. It's context. So if you want to live your full life, you've got to be very in the moment. What is it that I'm perceiving right this minute? So you have to be very okay, I notice this, I smell this, I taste this. Is that affecting me positively or negative? And if you're in a learning environment like college or K-12 or education or something like that, the more you can have those contexts be positive, like, let's just say you're in a really boring classroom that's hot and crowded and everybody's complaining in it. Well, then you have to do something. You have to smell, you have to smell something positive, like this is lemon, and any kind of orange, lemon, grapefruit, it always brings your energy up. So you can smell a lemon or an orange, or even picture it in your mind, and it'll bring your energy up. And so if you smell, do something to get the context to help you. Don't just be a loose goose in a context. So if you're in a squished context, think about what you can do to have a better way around you. And then, so the other day, literally, I was driving back into Phoenix. I had been staying with Byron down in Byron's apartment, working on. He was getting out of himself and working on a promo for a talent show. And this is brand new. Within the last month, he wrote a song. He recorded the song. He played the song. He played it for a real rock star and got the real rock star to help him buy a guitar. And this is all because he visualized and asked for what he wanted. Then he performed it to be a part of this talent show, and I had gone down there to help him. I'm driving back to Phoenix, no place to go. All my stuff is in my car that I have, other than a small storage unit in south of Santa Barbara, Carpinteria. And I was like, I don't feel like I belong anywhere. And I've been praying and praying. Where do I belong, God? I want to do your work. It was
just 1 week ago.
Was it exactly?
Yeah.
Mhm.
Oh yeah, because you did that thing. Yeah.
Or 6 days, six days, because that was the Saturday you drove back.
Saturday is when I drove back.
Mm-hmm.
Okay. So I'm driving back, and I'm just praying, and I'm like, God, I want to do your work, but I have to get settled. For months and months, I haven't even known where's the pillow going to be, which hotel am I going to be in, things like that. And so not to say I haven't had great excursions, but I just wanted a home base where I can have my prayer stuff and things like that. Everybody's laughing. Is everybody on?
Because we had to sit back, but it made my arm look skinny. So I'm able to sculpt my arm in a very attractive
Blurry
way.
background.
I look buff.
And you know what? We want to hear about your Ruby Tuesdays too. I think too about the magnet thing when Laura was talking about her challenge, and I think bringing people together creates strength, right? We were talking about that, and it creates strength and improvement. So I think people need to find their community or communities and stick with it to get your
stick with it, because that will help you contextually to be what Deborah said, the attraction rather than the chase. And what the movie The Secret says is be the target. Don't try to be the arrow, because the arrow will be wobbly all over the place, but the target remains intact with the round, middle. And so then attract what you want, pull it in. And so that day I called you guys, all three of you, and I said, I think I want to move to Carefree because I love the name Carefree. That's my go-to place to go hiking. I've been there a bazillion times. It doesn't feel like I'm going to be living on the beach in this moment, because I do love the beach. And I said, so I want to live in Carefree, but I want X, Y, Z, blah, blah, blah. And within 24 hours, it wasn't even 24 hours, I found a place. It looked like it was going to work. I drove straight from Byron's to see it. They were looking for me. It was crazy. I mean, they needed somebody just like me because they had some family issues, some wellness issues. And so what we're going to do, I mean, we have done it our whole lives. I don't know if you saw the Bohemian Jaguar this morning, Laura. It was just amazing. But we have been doing amazing adventure trips for a long, long time together, because we knew retreats were good for some things, and we wanted to do some kind of retreats, but we wanted to do something that the people would be forever glued together and would help and support each other's work in a way that people couldn't even believe would even be that great. And I'll just tell you, the one Byron and I are doing right now, which her water reminds me of, Laura got Byron and I to do 75 hard. And I want you guys to see my skin. So I've been doing it, and I've got just the window on me right now. I don't have any light or anything, but by 75 hard is it's like an extra job of taking care of yourself. So basically now you've been put in the maintenance charge of this incredible temple, right? 75 hard is like you have to do all this stuff for your body and your mind. It's the biggest mindset I've ever done in my life. But the outcome is your skin, you lose weight, you get more muscle and all that stuff. But Laura just kept hounding on us because she's that piece of us. She's that piece of us. And so together in this group, that we create this bigger version of who we are. The CodPast group, the Bohemian group, the Starshine group, the Ruby Tuesday group, the Black Swan group, all the different groups that we've started and that we are going to do. It's going to be so fun.
This group has kind of helped me define love, and that to me, love is wanting the best for the other as much as you want the best for you.
In their version,
right?
Because
right.
you might
don't know what
see
their best is, they
right.
or they might.
Well, say that one more time, Byron. I want to digest it a little slower.
Love is wanting the best for the other as much as you want the best for you.
Yeah, that's really good.
And Laura wanted the best for me. She wanted me to be on 75 hard, and I knew that. And a year ago, I just wasn't committed. So part of 75 hard is you have to start over if you don't do it. And I was doing everything except I wanted to have a glass of wine. And I'd call Laura and I'd go, I'm gonna blow it. I'm gonna have a glass of wine. And so then I'd have to start the whole thing all over again. And I literally did it for a whole year. A little bit every day.
Day zero, day one.
Yeah. And so the thing
you
about
just sign on your wall says, how many days since the last glass of wine?
0.
Right, you don't need to change it for Trish, except now, what is it, 35 or something like that?
It's almost 40, I think. Let me look at my thing on. I've got the app on my phone.
You guys started right after we left Phoenix.
You started the day after we left, which was you started maybe the 23rd. I think we left the 22nd. So March 23rd. I think you finished.
It says I have 21 days left.
Ooh,
that doesn't
your
make sense.
days left
No, it can't be, because we're not due to end until June 6th, I think.
Oh no, because that's phase 2, and then there are like 5 days left.
That's like the second 30 days. You have
I have to say, left. I never saw it in phases. Honest to God, what happens is it's just one big phase. It's one big 75
it's all
day.
The same, yeah.
But if I could interject here, I thought it was interesting because it is sort of a mirror or something, spotlight into your thinking. Because I remember at day 15, the first time I did it in 2021, day 15, I had actually traveled to Utah, came back, and actually I think that was easier for me because I got out of my home environment, and now all of a sudden the triggers that were at home were no longer, and I had kind of started this routine. So by day 15 I was like, oh my God, I can do anything, I can do this forever. And then the next day I woke up and I'm like, holy shit, I've got 59 more days left of this crap. It's like a really, you know, all the different things, all the things you learn along the way that your mind plays stories in your head. So I'm sure you guys have discovered some stuff yourself.
I've actually found it remarkably easy. That didn't take 2 days before I just didn't care about alcohol. And then after the first week,
Except for yesterday.
yeah, it would have been nice to have a glass of wine for your new house, but yeah, we didn't. And then a week later, I said, well, my number one addiction is chocolate. I have to have chocolate every day. I'm the kind of person who eats the chocolate chips right out of the bag. I mean, it's a terrible thing. So I said, all right, well, then let's make it 75 harder, and we'll get rid of chocolate. And there was actually, I mean, I didn't experience withdrawal from alcohol, but I did experience withdrawal from chocolate. It took 2 or 3 days to really get it out of my system. But now I just don't care. I just don't care.
What did it look? What did that look like for you, Byron? Like if it was very difficult, was
The
it
withdrawal? I just felt slightly ill. Like my body really needed the chocolate.
Wow.
And then it was over. Now part of that, and now I'll go back to my niacin fetish. There is a thing about niacin that actually helps with addictions. That somehow vitamin B3 is a necessity in overcoming, or very helpful in overcoming addictions. And it's little known that the inventor of Alcoholics Anonymous, AA, he did an experiment early on, decades and decades ago, because there was a subset of people who tried to do the 12-step program and so on, and just failed. And for some, I know, because he was working with Abram Hoffer, who's the early vitamin B3 guy or niacin guy. And so I guess Hoffer convinced him to try niacin. And he found out that 75% of the recalcitrant alcoholics could kick their addiction with the help of niacin.
Wow.
And there's something about, well, and the other thing weird is that cigarettes or tobacco smoke is a source of vitamin B3. It's a very strange thing. In fact, it was traced by the developer of this niacin protocol, because he wanted to figure out why was it that smokers weren't getting COVID. And it turned out they were getting niacin from the cigarette smoke. Another name for niacin is nicotinic acid. So it's a combustion product of tobacco. They were getting
But we're not advocating smoking cigarettes.
No,
Just
absolutely not.
taking the little pills. Well,
Right.
let's get to a funny fish stuff. And
Funny
so
fish.
let's talk about, I just found some highlights this morning because I thought what would be kind of interesting is that this perception thing, and Laura, you said environment. So environment is context, right? It's the same, it's kind of the same word. I mean, not exactly, but just be thinking about being in the present moment and what's the environment? What is it? What is it? What is it? Is it good for me or is it not? Is it making me laugh or is it making me cry? Is there something I can do about it? And not avoiding bad situations, but looking at the bad situations, saying, okay, how can I use this for my higher self? What am I learning from this? Because you don't want to really avoid stuff, because in a lot of religions, they tell you you're just going to keep having the same thing come up over and over and over if you don't learn from it, right?
Learning the lesson. Yeah.
That's learning. All right, so I thought you guys might just like to see some of these highlines, and then if you want to, if we want to go deeper into these, we can. This is kind of hilarious because I actually know a lot about this, but it says Michelle Pfeiffer got caught up in a breatharian cult. Well, there are breatharians and they aren't cults, and they're people that are so highly disciplined, I don't understand it. But it's kind of like Christian Scientists. They just believe that God gave you breathing and you don't need anything else. I don't know anything about that, but I thought that was pretty funny. And then it
I
says
also gave you chocolate. That was
Christopher Walken was a lion tamer in the circus.
I didn't know that.
I know. He was 16 years old and he was on a traveling circus as the assistant lion tamer. Gillian Anderson, who I don't know, is of X-Files. He was arrested for breaking and entering.
She.
Jillian.
It's Jillian.
Oh,
It's a girl.
She said, it says, in addition to taking drugs, dating older boyfriends, and being punk, she was voted the class clown and the most bizarre girl and the most likely to be arrested.
That's hilarious. I think she's English. I think she just played Margaret Thatcher in something, I think Netflix or something.
Oh yeah, we should get her on here. She would be funny. Okay, then Robert Downey Jr., we know he's got a past, right? Like, oh my gosh. We could talk to him until the
He
cows.
overcame it though.
Yeah,
He
I mean,
overcame it.
he was introduced to drugs and marijuana when he was 8 by his dad. I mean, the poor thing, what are you going to do after that? You know, really? But he was almost barred entry into Japan. So he had all kinds of things. I think I heard he lives in Santa Barbara. And I heard, this is totally hearsay, believe me, but because I was living in the Polo Club, I heard all kinds of stuff about everybody. And supposedly one of his gurus is quite revered, and he really works with Robert Downey a lot. Like, he really helps him a lot, and he's really good. But apparently that guru wants to be the first guru that is trained to play polo.
Oh.
Take it as you want it. Okay. Young Kate Blanchett's hairstyle almost got her fired. And do you want to know why?
heroin.
Of course. I mean, it's like a
What?
coral hair.
That
Coral
can't
hair.
be true. She seems so pure. Like my kids said when I got my tattoo. They're like,
Yeah.
Mom, you've always been so pure vanilla. I'm like, no, I haven't. Okay. So Kate, at 15, shaved her whole head.
That's what I was wondering about that. Oh,
And
God.
she was working in a nursing home, and they thought it would scare all the residents.
Just tell them that she had cancer.
Nolan
Oh.
Gould, who plays in Modern Family. Do you know who that is? He played Luke. I don't know these shows because I don't watch them.
Yeah, I know who he is.
But
Trish and I could fight for the title of least knowledgeable about pop culture.
yeah, because like I don't watch television. I don't know anything about it. But anyway, Byron, here's one for you to figure out here.
In.
He has an IQ of 150 and graduated high school at 13. He's a Mensa. Did you graduate? This is Nolan Gould.
He's one of the kids on Modern Family.
Okay, Modern Family. Yeah.
And did you graduate high school? Well, you graduated college.
I was slow. I graduated high school when I was 15.
Oh, 15, but then college.
College when I was 17. Yeah.
How do these people exist? Okay.
I treated it as a game. I just did whatever I could to get through as quickly as I could. And that had some benefits, got me into Caltech and then MIT and so on. But it had some detriments as well.
Okay, we're going to keep on talking about other people here. Okay.
I went to college
enough about me.
14 years I went to college.
Yeah, well, I just
for
went
18.
back 5 years ago. So, okay, Steve Bassemi was part of Engine Company number 55. He was in Pulp Fiction. Do you know who that is?
Oh, yeah.
He's a household name, Steve
Weird looking guy.
Bassemi. He worked as a real New York firefighter in Little Italy from 1980 to 1984.
Wow.
Isn't that amazing? Wow. And the day 9/11, he went back to assist them at Ground Zero, digging through rubble for 12-hour days because of
Wow.
missing firefight. That makes me cry. It's like, wow, wow, wow. Okay, does anybody have any other? Do you guys know
I got
of?
at least one.
Yeah,
I
well,
have one. Bob Newhart, remember, well, so I don't know how old many of the people in our audience are, and I know we have audience from all over the world, but Bob Newhart was a pretty famous actor in the 70s. And then he also did that video about the Stop It video, but he was actually a trained accountant because his mom told him he could never make it as an actor. So to have a backup plan. So he is actually a CPA, or was. He's still alive, but I'm sure he let his CPA slide. And I guess, you know, was it Harrison Ford was a carpenter, right? One of those, I think, or maybe it was Kevin Costner. Was it Kevin Costner?
Kevin Costner, so handsome. He's like everything.
I know.
Another example is Tony Robbins. Tony Robbins had 4 dads, and all of them abused him, I think.
Who?
Tony Robbins. He was thrown out of his house by his mom, I guess, when he was 17. That's another way of graduating at 17. And had to make a life for himself. And he did, amazingly. He just started studying. He decided, well, if I'm going to be successful, I'm going to figure out who was successful and figure out what they know and learn that. And he did. And then he started teaching even better.
All right, this is one of my favorite stories because I love rock music. You know, I love music. I'm now in Carefree or Cave Creek Carefree, where they have rock music every day. Every day they have live music. Don't come here. I don't want it to get any more crowded. Okay. This is a story that my famous former husband, Steve McCarty, told me about Johnny Cash and Chris Christopherson. Do you guys know who that is?
Oh, yeah.
One of Johnny Cash's most famous song was Sunday Morning Coming Down, which is one of my favorite songs. It's about going to church, but it's about, you know, getting drunk all night and then feeling so bad and wondering what your life is going to be like and everything. And he became really famous because of that song. But what a lot of people don't know is that Chris Christopherson was a Rhodes Scholar. Did you know that? Chris Christopherson was super, super smart, Oxford graduate. He was a captain in the Army and a helicopter pilot. Now, I heard he was also part of the SEAL team, or not. Yeah. Which one is Army? It's not
Rangers.
Rangers, yeah.
Rangers. I think Chris Christopherson was a Ranger, but he was a wannabe songwriter. So he was like Byron. He would write songs. And
I'm not wannabe.
yeah, you are now. Yeah,
I am a songwriter.
Yeah.
I've written 2 songs.
So he was working as a janitor at one point, and he saw Johnny Cash walking down the hallway, and he had this song, and he thought it was good for Johnny Cash, but he didn't have the confidence. And this is one of the things that we're all working on, is confidence, because nobody has enough. Even if you're famous, the problem that holds everybody back is confidence. It's not cocky confidence. It's confidence that you know who you are, and everybody can be just who they are, and you're not threatened. That's the point. And yeah, thank you for not being so invisible, Deborah.
I'm not doing it. We're in the haunted room in the Horton Hotel. This is the haunted suite. So
That's what I asked for anyway.
I can't wait. I can't wait to talk to you guys. Well, anyway, Chris Christopherson, bottom line is he stole a helicopter and he got the confidence. You know what I say? Just have 5 seconds of insane courage, which we've all demonstrated this week. Just 5 seconds of insane courage. God, give me 5 seconds of insane courage. It only takes 5 seconds to do anything, because once you're there, you got to keep going, right? Once you jump off the cliff, You just got to look for a twig because that's all there is. Well, he took this helicopter and he landed it in the yard of Johnny Cash. Johnny Cash comes out of the house like, what are you doing in this yard? All these people come running, and he has this song and he goes, I think you should record this song. I think it's a really important song. And Johnny Cash, that was his #1 recorded song ever.
Wow.
Yeah.
That's a great story.
Isn't that a great story? I love that story.
I have a story about
Was it
context.
Walk the Line?
What?
I have a
Which
story
story?
about. Go ahead, Deborah.
I said, which song was it? Was it Walk the Line?
No. It's Sunday Morning Coming Down, and
Oh.
we should have a CodPast playlist, you guys, about abracadabra and do you believe in magic, but also Sunday Morning Coming Down is like, there's that greatness in all of us, and there's that complete destroyer in all of us. In all of us, we walk around with it, like 1 minute we're as high as a kite and we can get through anything, and we're going to have 5 seconds of insane courage and nothing's going to take us down. And then the next minute, one little person says one big person says one little thing to you, and boom, right, you're all of a sudden now, I don't believe in anything. I can't do anything. And we're all just walking like, so that's
Actually,
what
we're walking the line, right? That's walking the line. There you go
Yeah.
with Johnny Cash again.
I walk the line.
We get to choose whether we're going to walk a straight line or get on either side. And sometimes we get knocked off, but we can get back on. I mean,
well, we're going to help other people in our retreats to be able to walk and negotiate that line and never fall off into the deep end. Always fall forward to the dream that's calling you.
I have a story about context that leads into Trisha's moving to Carefree. I was listening to the Beatles channel on Sirius XM yesterday, driving up to Phoenix partly to help Trish move in. And there's a guy who was talking about Danny Harrison. He was a friend of Danny Harrison, who is the son of George Harrison. And he said he visited Danny Harrison's house, which was George Harrison's estate. And he said he understood why Danny was so spiritually powerful. And it was because of the context. The place just had a feeling about it that he could see had empowered Danny to move forward with his own career and move spiritually out into the world. So this is while I was driving up to Carefree to help Trish move in. And then I get there and I see the scenery around, driving into Carefree, and the desert and the hills and the rocks and the boulders and the trees. And it was just beautiful. It was an incredible context, very suitable for Trish Sanders.
Yes.
Thank you.
Well,
And but you forgot the best part about Gene Autry.
His
Tell me about
pictures
it.
in that store we went into.
No, Gene Autry, he had a guitar or something from.
Oh, that was another story on the previous day on the Beatles channel. And it had to do with Randy Bachman, who's with Bachman. He was with Bachman Turner Overdrive and Guess Who. And this is back in 1965. He was in England visiting Ringo Starr, who he was a friend of. And he found out that Ringo and his buddies used to, every Saturday night, they would go watch Western movies, especially Gene Autry movies. So knowing this, Randy Bachman went to a pawn shop and found a Gene Autry guitar. And he bought it. It's $100 or £100. This is in Britain. And he gave it to Ringo on his birthday.
Oh.
And Ringo cried.
Oh.
And Gene Autry's my uncle.
Yes. We love that story.
So, we're getting ready to go over to Clubhouse because it's the end of the hour, but that reminds me so much of a book that I read that I've mentioned before. It's called Meaningful Coincidences. And they talk about the happiest people are always looking for those magical moments and synchronicities. And I know there are a lot of people who are not, but if you do, and you are open to them, you really do have this magical little life that we are all experiencing. And
yeah, like being present. I was watching a movie on the plane and this one line came up, and it was a movie about all women, but it said that she didn't see the cracks because she was so busy filling them in.
isn't that good?
Right. So just like always all this activity so that you don't see the cracks in your life.
Yep. There's
So look at the cracks, because then you can
growth in the cracks, growth in, that's where you grow, is in that
that's where the
silence.
light comes out, is the
Yeah.
crack in your heart.
Yeah, that's
when your heart breaks.
Right. Well,
All
getting
right,
back to fish. Oh,
Oh,
okay.
one last joke.
Getting back to fishing is one of those experiences. I mean, basically, it's like you'd think it'd be really boring because you're just sitting there. Every once in a while, something happens, kind of like a baseball game, but fishing, the real purpose of fishing and golf is the time that you get to spend with others. Is an excuse to spend time with others.
Mhm.
And then so it's not boring at all. It's
Well, that's
very
the catch
important.
of the day.
There you go. That is the catch of the day. Yay. All right, you guys. So
Here's
thanks
to
so much for
fishing.
joining us. And I know Deborah and I are very, very likely to not be here next week. I will be in an event, so we won't be here. So have a good week.
All right.
All
I
right,
love you
love you.
guys.
See you
All
in
right,
Clubhouse.
bye-bye.
Bye.
See you over there.
Yep.